Thank you, Dr. Di Maria, and again, congratulations to the class of 2015, and congratulations for your taking this very important step. It is my pleasure now to invite one of our new inductees into the Gold Humanism Society, Mr. Nelson Chui, to offer some reflections on what humanism has meant to him. Nelson grew up in Montvale, New Jersey, and attended Princeton University, graduating with a degree in public policy. After college, he worked in China for the Clinton Foundation HIV/AIDS initiative before beginning his studies at New Jersey Medical School. During medical school, he has been involved with the Humanism Center, with student government, the Christian Medical and Dental Association, and the New Jersey Medical School's a cappella group, the Vocal Cords. He is passionate about primary care, health policy, and global health, and he hopes to enter a residency in family medicine. Please join me in welcoming Nelson Chui to the podium.
I still remember my white coat ceremony of 3 years ago quite clearly. The rain had stopped just in time for the ceremony to revert from the cool, air-conditioned auditorium back to the hot and humid courtyard. To be honest, my mind was still on summer break. It was August, after all. And when I finally got my white coat, it was 2 sizes too big. At least I thought we were going out for Spanish food after the ceremony. It would take me a little while before I finally began to understand what wearing the white coat was all about. My first year of medical school was a difficult one, and it wasn't until the fall of my second year that I had a revelation. That fall, I was taking a workshop in medical interviewing at Greystone Park Psychiatric Hospital. There was a slight scheduling slip-up, and I was left alone talking to a committed psychiatric patient. Don't try this at home, even if the patient claims that he was God. But there I was, talking to an unshaven and wildly gesticulating, self-proclaimed Jesus in suburban Morristown behind a locked door. A feeling of panic swept over my body. What was I doing? This is not what I thought medical school would be. I imagined myself saving a life, discovering a new drug, or doing some other glamorous work, but not talking to a crazy person. Nevertheless, I was a captive audience, and the patient began to recall to me his life story. I listened, reluctantly at first, but as he described how he was previously healthy and began to develop paranoia, I was captivated. And as he recounted the difficulties he began to face in merely carrying out day-to-day activities, I was moved. And as he explained both the successes and failures in treating his schizophrenia, I felt every feeling of joy and discouragement along with him. And when he finally described his commitment to the psychiatric hospital, I was disappointed, but glad he had found the proper care. Through the conversation, we had begun to form a connection, and I had a sudden epiphany. No, this is not what I had expected to be doing, but I loved it. I loved being able to relate to another person and try to help them. It was truly a blessing. I felt a bond on a deepest level, and it was most fulfilling. This, I finally realized, was why I entered medicine. Humanism in medicine can be defined by empathy and listening, but is also manifest through loving the patient. In my pediatrics clerkship, as a third year, one of my patients was a young girl with cystic fibrosis, a congenital lung disease. Because of her genetic condition, Jen at her young age had already seen many more visits to the hospital than many much older than her. This time, she needed to stay for more than a week for yet another round of a pulmonary toilet involving heavy-duty antibiotics, vibrating chest vests every few hours, repeated breathing treatments, needle sticks, blood draws, and x-rays. Because of her lung infection, she was not allowed to leave the room and could not even participate in activities with the rest of the pediatric patients on the floor. Despite these challenging circumstances, every morning when I went to see her, Jen had a smile on her face, despite spending the previous night alone in a strange hospital bed. To make her visit somewhat more hospitable, all the staff pulled together and we brought her presents, played games with her, and chatted about fourth grade gossip. Even though we could not cure her of her disease, we could certainly show her as much love as possible in other equally important ways. And although Jen's 10th birthday fell during her stay, we organized with her family and friends and were able to throw her a surprise party in the hope and comfort of a no longer so strange hospital room. Though I eventually came to love the treatments and technologies behind patient care and appreciate the complexity of the human body, humanism is what makes medicine truly fulfilling to me. To be able to not only treat patients, but befriend them, reach out a hand, and support them in their time of need is absolutely the greatest privilege and most rewarding highlight of being a physician. Despite the rigors of the career path that lies behind you, and it will be more trying than you can imagine at times, the relationships and experiences you form with patients will more than sustain you. As you put on your white coat today and recited Hippocrates' oath, we warmly welcome you to the medical profession. Like mine, your white coat might feel a little bit big today, but have faith, you will grow into it. Not literally. While the challenges of schoolwork, exams, and long hours lie ahead, I encourage you to not lose sight of why you entered medical school. You will soon meet the most important teachers of your life, your patients. And if you allow yourself to be open to what they can offer, they will not only teach you how to care, but will teach you about who you are and who you can be, a doctor. Stay true to your calling and be a humble servant with compassion and love. Godspeed.
Thank you, Nelson. That really, oh, there we go. That was a wonderful capstone to this ceremony. I really appreciate your contribution, and I know all the members of the class of 2015 will take down every bit of your words. It'll be on YouTube tonight.